The Ages of Man by Hesiod and Ovid. The Golden Age by Hesiod. I will tell you the tale, how the gods and mortal men sprang from one source. First of all, the deathless gods who dwell on Olympus made a golden race of mortal men who lived in the time of Kronos, when he was reigning in heaven. And they lived like gods, without sorrow of heart, remote and free from toil and grief. Miserable age rested not on them, but with legs and arms never failing, they made merry with feasting, beyond the reach of all evils. When they died, it was as though they were overcome with sleep, and they had all good things. For the fruitful earth unforced bare them fruit abundantly and without stint. They dwelt in ease and peace upon their lands with many good things, rich in flocks and loved by the blessed gods. The Golden Age as told by Ovid. First was the Golden Age, then rectitude spontaneous in the heart prevailed, and faith. Adventures were not seen, for laws unframed were all unknown and needless. Punishment and fear of penalties existed not. No harsh decrees were fixed on brazen plates. No suppliant multitude the countenance of justice feared, averting, for they dwelt without a judge in peace. Descended not the steeps, shorn from its height, the lofty pine, cleaving the trackless waves of alien shores, nor distant realms were known to wandering men. The towns were not entrenched for time of war. They had no brazen trumpets, straight, nor horns of curving brass, nor helmets, shields, nor swords. There was no thought of martial pomp. Secure a happy multitude enjoyed repose. Then, of her own accord, the earth produced a store of every fruit. The harrow touched her not, nor did the plowshare wound her fields. And man content with given food, and none compelling, gathered arbute fruits and wild strawberries on the mountainsides, and ripe blackberries clinging to the bush, and corners and sweet acorns on the ground, down fallen from the spreading tree of Jove. Eternal spring, soft breathing zephyrs, soothed and warmly cherished buds and blooms produced without the seed. The valleys, though unplowed, gave many fruits. The fields, though not renewed, white glistened with the heavy bearded wheat. Rivers flowed milk and nectar, and the trees, the very oak trees, then gave honey of themselves. The Silver Age by Hesiod. But after earth has covered this generation, they are called pure spirits dwelling on the earth, and are kindly, delivering from harm, and guardians of mortal men. For they roam everywhere over the earth, clothed in mist, and keep watch on judgments and cruel deeds. Givers of wealth, for this royal right also they received. Then they who dwell on Olympus made a second generation, which was of silver and less noble by far. It was like the golden race, neither in body nor in spirit. A child was brought up at his good mother's side 100 years, an utter simpleton, playing childishly in his own home. But when they were full grown and were come to the full measure of their prime, they lived only a little time in sorrow, because of their foolishness. For they could not keep from sinning, and from wronging one another, nor would they serve the immortals, nor sacrifice on the holy altars of the blessed ones, as it is right for men to do wherever they dwell. Then Zeus, the son of Kronos, was angry and put them away, because they would not give honor to the blessed gods who live on Olympus. The Silver Age, as told by Ovid. When Saturn had been banished into night, and all the world was ruled by Jove supreme, the Silver Age, though not so good as gold, but still surpassing yellow brass, prevailed. Jove first reduced to years the primal spring, by him divided into periods 4, unequal: summer, autumn, winter, spring. Then glowed with tawny heat the parched air, or pendant icicles in winter froze. And man stopped crouching in crude caverns, while he built his homes of tree rods, bark entwined. Then were the cereals planted in long rows, and bullocks groaned beneath the heavy yoke. The Bronze Age, by Hesiod. But when earth has covered this generation also, they are called blessed spirits of the underworld by men. And, though they are of second order, yet honor attends them also. Zeus, the father, made the third generation of mortal men, a brazen race, sprung from ash trees, or Melii in Greek, and it was in no way equal to the Silver Age, but was terrible and strong. They loved the lamentable works of Ares and deeds of violence. They ate no bread, but were hard of heart, like adamant, fearful men. Great was their strength, and unconquerable the arms which grew from their shoulders on their strong limbs. Their armor was of bronze, and their houses of bronze, and of bronze were their implements. There was no black iron. These were destroyed by their own hands, and passed to the dank house of chill Hades, and left no name. Terrible though they were, black death seized them, and they left the bright light of the sun. Ovid says, "The third age followed, called the Age of Bronze, when cruel people were inclined to arms, but not to impious crimes." Then Hesiod mentions an age of half-god heroes, between the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. But when earth had covered this generation also, Zeus, the son of Kronos, made yet another, the fourth, upon the fruitful earth, which was nobler and more righteous. A godlike race of hero men who are called demigods, the race before our own, throughout the boundless earth. Grim war and dread battle destroyed a part of them, some in the land of Cadmus at seven-gated Thebe, when they fought for the flocks of Oedipus, and some when it had brought them in ships over the great sea gulf to Troy, for rich-haired Helen's sake. There death's end enshrouded a part of them. But to the others, Father Zeus, the son of Kronos, gave a living, and an abode apart from men, and made them dwell at the ends of earth. And they live untouched by sorrow, in the islands of the blessed, along the shore of deep swirling ocean. Happy heroes for whom the grain-giving earth bears honey-sweet fruit, flourishing thrice a year. Far from the deathless gods, and Kronos rules over them. For the father of men and gods released him from his bonds, and these last equally have honor and glory. The Iron Age. And again, far-seeing Zeus made yet another generation, the fifth, of men who are upon the bounteous earth. Thereafter would that I were not among the men of the fifth generation, but either had died before, or been born afterwards. For now truly is a race of iron, and men never rest from labor and sorrow by day, and from perishing by night. And the gods shall lay sore trouble upon them. But, notwithstanding, even these shall have some good mingled with their evils. And Zeus will destroy this race of mortal men also, when they come to have grey hair on the temples at their birth. The father will not agree with his children, nor the children with their father, nor guest with his host, nor comrade with comrade, nor will brother be dear to brother as aforetime. Men will dishonor their parents as they grow quickly old, and will carp at them, chiding them with bitter words, hard-hearted they, not knowing the fear of the gods. They will not repay their aged parents the cost of their nurture, for might shall be their right, and one man will sack another city. There will be no favor for the man who keeps his oath, or for the just, or for the good, but rather men will praise the evildoer and his violent dealing. Strength will be right, and reverence will cease to be, and the wicked will hurt the worthy men, speaking false words against him, and will swear an oath upon them. Envy, foul-mouthed, delighting in evil, with scowling face, will go along with wretched men one and all. And then idols and nemesis, the shame of wrongdoing, and the indignation against the wrongdoer, with their sweet forms wrapped in white robes, will go from the wide-pathed earth and forsake mankind, to join the company of the deathless gods. And bitter sorrows will be left for mortal men, and there will be no help against evil. The Iron Age, as told by Ovid. At last of all, the ruthless and hard age of iron prevailed, from which malignant fame great evil sprung, and modesty and faith and truth took flight, and in their stead deceits and snares and frauds and violence and wicked love of gain succeeded. Then the sailors spread the sails to winds unknown, and keels that long had stood on lofty mountains pierced uncharted waves. Surveyors, anxious, marked with metes and bounds the lands, created free as light and air, nor need the rich ground furnish only crops, and give due nourishment by right required. They penetrated to the bowels of earth, and dug up wealth, bad cause of all our ills, rich ores which long ago the earth had hid, and deep removed to gloomy Stygian caves, and soon destructive iron and harmful gold were brought to light, and war, which uses both, came forth and shook with sanguinary grip his clashing arms. Rapacity broke forth. The guest was not protected from his host, the father-in-law from his own son-in-law. Even brothers seldom could abide in peace. The husband threatened to destroy his wife, and she her husband. Horrid stepdames mixed the deadly henbane. Eager sons inquired their fathers' ages. Piety was slain, and last of all, the virgin deity Astrea vanished from the blood-stained earth. These were the ages of man, as recounted by Hesiod and the Roman poet Ovid.